You already know what time it is. It's time to get busy with your boy Hotep Rule our rule as we drop some more facts and some more our history, not his story, which you will be able to hear some of his story telling the lies as we break down the fake Egyptian false goddess Cleopatra that they try to write into our history with his story. And through this video, and you will hear some clips from them. Like I said, trying to explain their story and our history, trying to add their Greek Caucasian goddess into the same, statue of our Kemetic goddesses, as we know. And we will not have that no more. We will end that and that today. You dig? We'll finally get rid of that. So, with saying that, I definitely will spit some facts about where her and her Greek invading and slaving of our people family come from. So that way you will definitely get to know exactly what and who she was. That she has no history and no connection with none of our people, point blank period. Just a family that came, invaded, took over land, and started their own dynasty, own place called Alexandria. After Alexander, we know who, the fake, not great. And just put some facts in so that y'all know that she is not the wave, and she will never be accepted as a Kemetic goddess ever, Egyptian goddess, never. We won't, we not having it. Period. You feel me? So, man, let's get into some of these facts. You'll get some pictures, and you'll be able to hear some clips of even their own, telling how fucked up this family was, where they came from, the shit they done to each other. So, and these times is where you get to see why the 1220 frequency was thrown off of peace, togetherness, with all the warring and fighting coming into play. Vikings and just evil spirits taking over the land, you feel me? To get us into what we call a 13th frequency, where you can have chaos and all the craziness that's going on in the world today. So, as I get right, John Blaze time as we get into the Kemetic hour. Let's break down and get into some of these facts. Alright, let's get into some of these brief facts, before I play a brief clip to where even they can let you know how ruthless their family was, and even with each other. But Macedonia, the native or inhabited of the Republic of Macedonia, including parts of 6, which is the Balkan countries: Greece, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Albania, Serbia, and Kosovo. Greek Macedonians are a regional and historical population group of ethnic Greeks that inhabited or originated mainly from the Greek region of Macedonia. The Ptolemaic dynasty, also known as the Legids or Legede, was a Macedonian Greek royal family which ruled the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt during the Hellenistic period. Their rule lasted for 275 years, from 305 to 30 BC. They were the last dynasty of ancient Egypt. The Hellenistic period covers the period of Mediterranean history between the death of Alexander the Not Great in 323 BC and the emergence of the Roman Empire, as signified by the Battle of Actium in 31 BC and the conquest of Ptolemaic Egypt the following year. Let's get into some of this. Ptolemy first, Soter, a Macedonian Greek general and companion of Alexander the Not Great, born 367 BC, died January 282 BC in Alexandria, Egypt. After the death of Alexander in 323 BC, Ptolemy retrieved his body as it was en route to be buried in Macedonia, placing it in Memphis instead, where it was later on moved to Alexandria. Afterwards, he joined in the coalition against Perdiccas, the royal regent over Philip III of Macedonia, then later invaded Egypt but was assassinated by his own officers in 320 BC, allowing Ptolemy I to consolidate his control over the country. Now, while Cleopatra was born in Egypt, she traced and went by her parents and family origins to Macedonian Greek people. Ptolemy I Soter took reign of Egypt after the death of Alexander in 323 BC. He launched a dynasty of Greek-speaking rulers that lasted until the end of his reign. That's how we got all the Greek and all that dumb foreigner crap. But to keep it going, her heavy eye makeup was not just for looks, it also protected her from disease, according to so-called new research. Now, they try to say that all the makeup she wore and all that was to help her from disease. From new research, believe that Egyptians applied the eyeliner 4,000 years ago in order to ward off infection. Lead salts in the makeup help to protect against eye disease. The French study claims, that's what they claim, of course, being of Greek and Caucasian descent, why would she need all the makeup and things to protect her skin from Ra, the sun? So, we know that's lie and, bull. Now, Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra was inspired by Plutarch, what you hear in the speaker that we listen to, who was writing in the 2nd CAD, almost 200 years later after the death of the famous couple. His Cleopatra was the consummate manipulator who loved not Antony but power and pulled his puppet strings to make him dance to her tune. Plutarch's account could be accepted as fact than any other Roman account of Cleopatra. A late antique writer insisted that she was so incitable that she often played the prostitute so beautiful that many men paid for a single night with their lives. Yeah, she was getting around and getting busy. So to end with that, Cleopatra, only famous in her father's name, that's it. Also Cleopatra, the father's loving fake goddess, only famous in history and drama as the lover of Julius Caesar, and later as the wife of Mark Antony, which she died on August 30th BCE as she killed herself. And they will let you know that. Definitely look up the facts and full facts. But as I said, yeah, there you go. As we listen to a brief little light clip of them even explaining how crazy and just, how the Vikings do, how they do with their people. You feel me?
And beautiful ornaments. The palace was huge and spacious, with more than 100 rooms and a stunning external landscape. There were breathtaking gardens, decorated with beautiful statues and fountains. This fantastic palace was constantly enlarged with successive generations of Ptolemean figures. The site became the most luxurious palace in the Mediterranean, Cleopatra, daughter of Ptolemy XII, grew up in this reality. She had two sisters, Berenice IV and Arsone IV, and two brothers, Ptolemy XIII and Ptolemy XIV. When her mother died, Berenice IV settled in power, but her period as ruler was short, and the young woman was killed by her own father. It is important to underline again that the lineage of the Ptolemies had as one of its main characteristics the murders. Later,
right there, letting you know, they ain't even give. That's not how our people ruled and how our people did things. Not the Kemetic people. They let you know right there. The murders and all that came with them, killing each other, already enslaving each other. What you think they came over here and did?
Arsone IV was exiled by Julius Caesar and later executed by Mark Antony at the behest of his own sister Cleopatra. The fate of Ptolemy XIV was no different. Cleopatra began to rule Egypt at the age of 17 after the death of her father. According to tradition, she married his brother Ptolemy XIII,
You hear this crazy
who, at
shit?
the time, was only 13 years old. Sometime after Cleopatra became the queen of Egypt, her brother and husband, Ptolemy XIII, began to take an interest in ruling the country without the intervention of his sister. Pothinus, Achillas, and Theodotus Achaeos, three important advisors to the young king, agreed with this idea to persuade the young man to break with Cleopatra and remove her from power. The queen, during her government, wanted to maintain political ties with Italy in a showcase of her strategic skills. Her goal was to strengthen friendship with the Romans, who could be important allies in the event of a civil war in Egypt. Her main ally would be General Pompey, leader of one of the most traditional Roman families. These diplomatic maneuvers led to Cleopatra being accused of treason for deceiving her brother. At the age of 21, the young ruler was forced to leave Alexandria and went into exile in Syria, where she assembled an army. The young Egyptian king and his three advisors decided to go in search of the queen to prevent her return to Alexandria at all costs.
You see what they did? They'll glorify her, say she was just high mighty queen and took over the land, brought riches and all that. And you see where they gotten power, throw her out, exiled her, and got her out of Alexandria until she could later on manipulate her way back by doing what she does best. And maybe I'll post this. I'll show y'all how to get this video right here. But do what she did best. Snuck her way back in by giving up that that peach fruit, and then she got back into Egypt until the Julius Caesar and all that bull crap at the end.
In 44 BC,
Last few little facts. I'm gonna let them spit for you before we get up out of here.
chaos engulfed Rome. General Mark Antony,
You know what the Romans and all that bullshit, Greek fighting and all they did.
in a public square, he read Caesar's will, where his son with Cleopatra was not among the heirs.
It's
In
Caesar.
his will, Caesar indicated his nephew Octavius as his successor. Rome was no longer a safe place for the Egyptian queen, and she returned to her kingdom.
So you hear that?
Octavius
Had to flee back from where she originally was to go back to the stolen land her and her family took over.
There was a remarkable encounter between Cleopatra and Mark Antony. In the year 41, he sent a messenger to
I'll
Alexandria.
let y'all hear real quick how she got back in with the pom
The
pom.
queen for a meeting in Tarsus, a city located in present-day Turkey. The Egyptian queen arrived at the agreed place in a dazzling boat.
The fake Egyptian
The ship had
queen.
a stern made of gold, its oars were made of silver, and the sails were purple. The navigation was accompanied by music. Fife, lyre, and flute were played. The queen, beautiful and ornated, was freshened up by her servants, and the boat had a wonderful smell. The entire population left their duties to follow Cleopatra's triumphal arrival.
Peep it.
Mark Antony fell in love with her immediately. Still, in 41 BC, Cleopatra invited the mighty Mark Antony to visit Alexandria. However,
working her ways again,
time in the Egyptian city and getting involved with the
doing her
Greek,
prostitute
the
thing.
Roman left, and the two continued to exchange correspondence. The couple only met again after a long time, but before that reunion, something happened. In 40 BC, Cleopatra gave birth to twins, recognized by Mark Antony himself as their heirs. The children were called Helios, a Greek origin, which means sun, and Selene, which means moon. During the absence of the Roman,
And that's about it right there. Just to drop them facts and let you know that she was not and never will be a Kemetic queen from the motherland. She was from Macedonia, Greece. And as when she had her kids, just as she took over the origins and where she was from, the kids did too. The names were Greek, meant Greek, and everything. So when you come across your studies and you come across this false goddess, fake queen, Cleopatra, you will now know that she has nothing to do with the history, real history, not his story, of our Kemetic queens from Kemet, the Nefertari, and others that, we don't even need to mention because we know who they are. And we'll get to them in the next videos. So, as I said, you can still look up, do your studies, but Cleopatra, Greek invader of Egypt, was not nothing of our ancestral base. And you already know what time it is. Hotep.